We often blame our failures on laziness, yet there is a much quieter force that does far more damage. It is the comforting, seemingly harmless whisper of the word tomorrow. Take a student named Aryan. He had a natural gift for learning. Concepts that took others weeks to grasp, he could understand in a single afternoon. That quick comprehension laid a subtle psychological trap. Because school came so easily to him early on, Aryan began to equate his intelligence with having an infinite abundance of time. When raw talent removes the immediate friction of hard work, it often breeds a dangerous arrogance. It convinces you that you can always afford to delay the effort until later. This mindset met its match when Aryan's final exams were exactly 30 days away. Every afternoon, his mother would suggest he review his notes, and every afternoon, Aryan would offer a very specific, empty promise. He would simply wake up at 4 a.m. the next day to study. This chart illustrates a behavioral quirk called temporal discounting. Aryan's brain actively devalued the severe future consequences of failing his exam because the immediate, tangible rewards of sleeping in and playing with his friends felt much more real. Without a single dramatic incident, an entire 30-day buffer evaporated. No sudden emergency stole that time. It was chipped away by 1,000 tiny daily excuses. Procrastination quietly drains your potential away, one delayed task at a time, until the deadline arrives. Suddenly, the calendar flipped. Only 48 hours remained until the first exam. When Aryan finally opened his textbooks, the illusion shattered. He was staring at an impossible volume of unstudied material, and genuine panic set in. Then the power grid failed. He was left to attempt a full year's worth of learning by the flickering light of a single earthen lamp. The next morning in the exam hall, his brain hit a wall of cognitive overload. The questions looked vaguely familiar, but he lacked the deep, reinforced memory pathways required to actually construct an answer. When the results were posted, the outcome was inevitable. His friends packed their bags for the next grade level, while Aryan remained exactly where he started. The academic failure stung, but the true emotional rock bottom came later that evening. Looking into his parents' eyes, he saw a quiet, crushing disappointment that filled him with deep shame. Pinning your hopes on a hypothetical tomorrow mathematically guarantees a devastating collision with reality today. That evening, Aryan retreated to the courtyard in tears. His grandfather walked out and sat beside him. Rather than lecturing him on grades, his grandfather pointed to a small, fragile plant growing near the steps. This split-screen model illustrates the logic behind his grandfather's question. If you withhold that steady, daily drip for a month, and instead dump 10 heavy buckets on the final day, will the plant survive? Aryan shook his head. It would drown. That flat line perfectly mirrors forcing 12 months of education into a single sleepless night. His grandfather explained the reality of the situation. Tomorrow is an active thief. It steals the effort you could make right now, and by doing so, it steals the happiness you could experience in the future. Acquiring deep knowledge operates on the exact same principles as biological growth. You cannot rush it at the last minute. It demands the strict, unavoidable discipline of daily cultivation. Those words broke the illusion. Aryan decided right then that his reliance on an imaginary tomorrow was permanently over. He altered his immediate physical environment. He placed a stark visual reminder right in the center of his bedroom wall. Tomorrow never comes. What is there is today. He implemented a strict new operational protocol. Whatever material the teachers covered in class, Aryan reviewed it that exact same afternoon. He allowed zero academic debt to roll over to the next morning. The heavy dread of studying completely disappeared. By breaking the work into small, daily chunks, it transitioned from an overwhelming burden into a frictionless, automatic habit. Long-term behavioral change relies on restructuring your daily systems, so the right choice becomes the easiest choice. Fast forward to the end of the very next academic year, and the results of that system were undeniable. Aryan secured the highest test scores in his entire district. This graph reveals the mathematical reality of his success. His top marks were the direct result of the compounding effect of hundreds of quiet, unglamorous daily efforts. Your ambitions cannot be scheduled for a convenient date in the future. Their construction must begin in the absolute present moment. Stop waiting for a perfect tomorrow that will never arrive. Begin the work today. And if you want to continue building better habits, hit subscribe and join us for the next story.